the end. So if I record these sessions, people
Exactly,
who
that would be helpful.
what now people who would be listening to this recording, it is for them. Guys, I didn't want to delay the time further. I have started the recording. So people who join late, you can always go through the recording and have a check on what we have talked about. And again, the team is there. You can always raise your questions, queries. I will get back to it. There will be no absolute issues on it, right? uh, we have to do the introduction in 1 hour, and then we'll probably move on to the next. So I didn't wait. I'll wait for 2 more minutes. 5 minutes is fine. We'll start exactly at 35 so that we are good with the content we have for the day. I'll share the PPT by then. People who are there already, do let me know if it is visible. I'll just share it. Yeah. Is the PPT visible?
No, it's not visible. I can't see it from my end.
Okay, okay. Maybe I've
Okay,
just
it's visible
shared.
now.
So it was taking a minute to be there. Right. Now, let's start with not directly with what is operation management of the introduction. Let's start with a very fundamental question. Why operations management? Why? Like, what do you or what
Yeah,
do
it's
we
visible
generally?
now.
Ah, it's there now. Great. Okay. Before going to anything, before going to the concept of operations management, before understanding the who and why and everything, let's start something with very fundamental,
Yes,
right?
Mauka.
Yes, anyone
Da,
else saying
nitafika
something?
wapapishwa nosanganya hii. Ga pastor kwa sababu ngafumba ulios.
Has someone left the audio this by mistake? You can check. Okay, people who have joined in, you can keep your audio muted. If you have to raise a question, if you want to say anything, if you want to interact, then you can put it on and of course interact. Otherwise, I would appreciate if you keep it muted, right? Now, it's 6:35. We are starting with the introduction. To begin with, what do we understand by operations management? A very fundamental question. Let's start from here. Then we will probably go deep into the theory and everything. What is our basic understanding of operations management? Before I say, would anyone like to say anything you think about operations management, or any expectations you have what we are going to do in the course, or how it is going to overall benefit anyone? Any idea, anything on that? What is the basic understanding? What are we going to do here in operations management?
Okay. Operations management is a breakdown of broken down into three parts. You
Mm-hmm.
may design, manage, and improve a set of activities that creates the products and services and delivers them to a customer. I think that's my understanding.
Great. Yes, what he just told, if I put it, operations management is concerned with designing, operating, and improving organizations' production system as a whole, right? Now, this line, what he told was absolutely correct. The implications is thus that operations is very core to any organization's functioning, that you design, you operate, you improve. That's it, the organization in a gist. If you are taking these three parlances, we are talking about anything and everything in the organization. That could be related to product, that could be related to service, that could be related to quality, quantity, packaging, anything and everything. But these three things, designing, operating, and improving, remains to be the core of an organization, or particularly organization's production system, right? See, it includes managing resources such as, you can say, raw materials, equipments, human resources, all of this. And it aims to ensure the organization's production, the entire production system, runs smoothly and efficiently. Thus, we can say that it is very core to any of the functioning of an organization, right? Now, see, as I say that this is core to any organization. Let's see a typical breakdown or a mathematical uh, thing of a typical manufacturing company number wise. It will help you to derive it far better. Management of any activity process that creates goods and provides services is what operations management is. So why OM? If I talk about a typical manufacturing company, see the breakup that we are talking about. The OM cost is 21%. The manufacturing cost is 48%. The marketing cost is 26%. Now, I have although kept manufacturing cost 48, but you have to understand this manufacturing is also a typical OM structure in itself. If not, we separate it with just a process like that. So you see, in each of the cases, if not OM separated to be 21, marketing operations in itself, manufacturing operation in itself, all together amounts to be a huge one when it comes to organizations function, right? Now that makes us to this class, you can say, or to this subject of understanding OM. Now, when I say marketing or if I say manufacturing separately, if I do not consider them to be a holistic part of operations management, see, if we talk about basic functions like planning, scheduling, controlling, monitoring the production processes and all, those are also part of operations management, right? So this manufacturing cost of 48% is also a breakup of or a part of OM cost in itself. If I say OM as 21 only, that is the not the only process or the provider of goods and services like that, right? Moving on, see, if we talk about an organization, and if I say talk about the basics, if if we want to divide it this way, it's finance, operations, marketing. Okay, what are we saying here as operations? We are mainly talking about the production line or the manufacturing line. So we take finance as a different division, production, manufacturing, or the process in one, and marketing in the other. But if we go distinct inside finance and marketing, we will also find role of operation management therein, right? But in a broader term, when we say operations, we generally mean to say about the production or the manufacturing or the production part of the goods or the services given, right? Now, if I want to like clearly distinguish between the roles in operations, see, it could be like inputs become outputs after transformation, and that transformation part is particularly concerned with operations, right? Now, operations management is concerned with ensuring that the company's operations are efficient and effective and that they meet the customer's need. The organization's profit that we just talked about, if we say this percentage is the profit, or we just saw in the last slide, if I go back, if I say profit percentage is the 5% for a manufacturing organization in general. Now we have to understand these profit is dependent on sales of the goods. It will come when we can satisfy or meet the customer's need. So it is also responsible for ensuring that the company's products, services are delivered on time and within budget. Very important. Otherwise, that will be a number gap in the profit margins as well. Okay, so operations management, we can say, is vital in ensuring that a company's operations are aligned with its strategic objectives as well. Anyone have any idea on strategic objectives of any organization? It actually helps to ensure company use its resources in the most efficient way possible and responds quickly to demands and everything. But the vital one is ensuring the company's operations with these strategic objectives. So here, when we start with operations management, we should be very clear how the entire operation management of any organization should be linked with its strategic objectives. Anyone, you have anything to say about a strategic objective of any organization? Any idea on that?
I think it's all about, I mean, understanding the current, I mean, operation, and understanding the performance, and understanding the performance required by customers. I think by undertaking these three strategies, I mean, every organization will be well to go to perfect its OM.
This would be a breakup of the strategic, but if I say strategic objective, that's more holistic. I'll say it how. See, strategic objective of organization is very unique and individual for every organization, right? See, when a person or any or one builds an organization, he or she has a goal behind it. Say, suppose I come up with the organization today. My goal can be anything and everything. I can open an organization for profit making. I can open an organization for social service. I can open an organization to bring best quality products for my customers. You see how many different objectives can I have? Now, to fulfill this vast idea or the vast motto behind my organization, I will have to build some strategic objectives. Now, if let's pick one of it. If I'm opening an organization and my broader objective is to bring best quality product to my customers and not mere profit. My objective is not just mere gaining profits, but my organization's objective is really broad, that I want to bring the best quality services for my customers. Now, to make this broad objective happen, I have to build small or break it to strategic objectives. I have to source, say, you can say I have to source the best quality raw materials. I have to have in the best labor skilled people to build it and the best training to the people who are delivering it. That is why, or that is how the best quality product will probably reach to my customers. This is my assumption. So from a broad objective, I break it down into objectives. Now, this is again unique to my organization because I wanted to deliver best quality to my people. If you come up with an organization, you can have different objective, align strategic objectives to it. Now, when I have this strategic objectives, this will have to be reflected in my operations management. Now we come here, why and what of operations management. Now, what was my first strategic objective? To ensure or to source best quality raw materials, right? Now, operations is also about sourcing materials. So when I am into operations management, when I'm sourcing raw materials, I have to remember my strategic objective, how I can source the best quality material. Here, I'll break it down in form of an example. Say, suppose my organization for which I was talking about these objectives, probably, it is a burger making fast food retail, you can say. Okay, I sell burgers, suppose, and my objective was to give them best burgers. For that, I thought of sourcing best quality materials. Now, For burger, what I need is a basic patty, a lettuce, and sauces and everything. Now, when I'm sourcing the lettuce, I have to ensure in operations management that comes from the best of the markets and that remains. It's not just about coming, it is also in operations with the strategic alignment that it remains in the best of the conditions. That is how I can fulfill my objective of delivering the best product to my people. Now you understand how operations management should always be aligned to organizations' strategic objectives. Is it understandable?
Yes, understood.
So whenever we are talking about operations management, of course, we will talk about different parts of operations management, different nitty-gritty details in operation management, but we have to always remember that our operations, in operations management rather, it is vital in ensuring that the company's every operations are aligned to its strategic objectives. Otherwise, the entire vision or the broad objective of the organization will fail. So the first thing in organization with link to operations is to maintain the sync or the link to its strategic objectives like that. Now, coming to examples of operations in manufacturing, the first one here we see is food processing. Just to develop the idea what operations actually is. We'll quickly develop the idea of operations and then move on to the topic. Now, if I talk about the input process output of a food processing manufacturing organization, you can probably see the table here displayed on the screen. I think it's visible. So what can be the variable inputs in operations in a food processing organization? It can be vegetables, metal sheets, vegetables in the sense any other forms of vegetables, waters, energy, cans, boiling of vegetables, energy in the sense what you require to prepare it to the next level. That's what we are telling as energy. That can be any form of gas or any other form of things in as a part of energy you use to take the vegetables to probably next level. Then cleaning, what is the process? Cleaning for raw vegetables, you can say, for metal sheets, for all this, cans and all. That is how you process them. And then in the end, what outputs you can be getting from there, right? So this is a typical operation example in a manufacturing unit. I'll just try to extend it a little more to make it clearly visible. If it is not visible on the screen, people, you can let me know. So you see, a typical operations example in a manufacturing food processing. If we move on to the next, that was a product oriented. Now let's come to service. If I talk about healthcare, what are the inputs? Doctors, nurses, hospital, medical supplies, equipments, laboratories, and everything. How we process the examination, surgery, monitoring, medication, therapy, and outputs, we are looking for healthy patients, right? Why two different kind of examples? Generally, what happens when we think of operations or operations management in general, we always think about machineries, we always think about product building. Many a times we ignore services like that. In service providers also, operations is a huge part. For example, the healthcare. Operations is the basic. You see, the processing or the operations is everything that will deliver healthy patients. So we have to first understand whenever we think of operations, we will not limit our thought only to product oriented industries. Operations is also about service oriented industries as well, right? It is core to any organization. Moving on, how many types of operations can we have? Here on the screen, you can see. Anyone you want to add, subtract, anything? There are various types of operations, right? Not just one. It's not just manufacturing
Hello,
or something.
pepani ngafika pala ngakusanganisha so ngana kuti nizenge so sapete inyake
Anyone?
tingasangana
If you're
Eh.
not saying anything for the class,
Ngasangana
you have to
ngafika
mute it down.
magrosari apo fanga ndusangende pa magrosari apo ngafika ngaandika pala ngasanga palije munthu angajumpanga wanga
Otherwise, I have to go back and
mukafumba anthu ngasanga panyamata kachanga juga vichi mbwe ningapenda usangende pene papo.
people see when I am unmuting the person.
Nkhani kwayake tisangende pa gosafa nkhana ine yankhana munthu mnya.
See, people, please keep a watch over it. What happens actually is when I'm sharing the screen and teaching you from there, if you do not keep a watch, if it is muted, unmuted, what will happen every time I will have to come back and mute it, right? So it's advisable that you keep a watch over it so that we can have the class hassle-free. It can happen by mistake, but you have to keep a watch over it. That's the thing. Okay, let's come back. Types of operations. How many and what types of operations can we have? See, goods producing, any kind of goods, agriculture, farming, mining, construction, anything. Again, storage, transportation is also one kind of operations. Warehousing, trucking, everything inclusive. Then exchange, retailing, wholesaling, renting, trade, leasing, all of it is a type of operations. Entertainment, that's also a type of operations. Communication, newspaper, journals, radio, television, everything is another type of operations. Now, we are talking about operations management in general. Now, each of it has a different kind of process involved. If you take entertainment to movies, the operations or the part of operation production is totally different. If you take recordings or recording concern, that is different. If you talk about concerts, that's totally different. If you move to any other goods producing, the way you produce construction goods is probably different from farming or agriculture based goods. So the purview of operations is huge, right? The product or the service we are building will decide the line of operations. Now coming to why OM. Now for last 20-25 minutes, we have talked about the basics of operations management. So any one of you want to say why you believe why operations management? Anyone? Rather, if I put it in easy words, importance, what is the importance of operations management? Now, operations management is important in a business organization because it helps to, you can say, manage, control, supervise goods, services, and people. It from the last slide, it cuts across the sectors and industries. In service, you can say, in product, you can say, it has its own role to play. It is very crucial and critical to any business. If we say healthcare, suppose, operations management ensures proper health delivery with right instruments at the right time. It also helps people like nurses, doctors deliver timely supplies or timely service and everything, right? For production or manufacturing company to be successful, again, OM must first stand, you can say like that. Take if you think of a oil and gas company, right, then how important do you feel is operations management? Company's product discharged by ship to the reservoirs to make it available for a large customer. The role of OM is supposedly huge therein, right? So operations management in a nutshell is widely used irrespective of company size or what they do. In conclusion of why OM, operations management is very widely used across any and every organization. That can be a big organization, that can be a small organization. They can do anything and everything. They will require operations management, right? Now, coming to organization of a business. if I want to break the organization of a business, I can break it in three parts. In the first or the second slide we saw, we are breaking it into operations, finance, and marketing in organization of a business. Now, if I start with the first part, operations or production particularly, it is mostly goods oriented for manufacturing industry or assembling. For it is service oriented for healthcare, transportation, or service based industry. And it also not just goods and services, it is also value adding phenomena for the entire essence of operation functions, right? Whatever you do, goods or service, if function the parts of operations management effectively, it helps in value addition as well. See, today the world is very competitive. Yes, I hope you all will agree to it. If you take example of any company or any sector, you name a sector and you will be able to name different companies in that sector. If I talk about FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, all of us can name different companies in that sector, right? What I mean to say is that the world has become very competitive. Each sector is competitive with its own uniqueness. Now, to serve the sector or to be there in the sector, to be there in the market, you have to come up with the best operations, productions, or operations management with the essence of value addition helps to beat the competition. If you want to be there top in the market, beating hundreds of competitions or competitors which are there in the market, you have to be good in the basic of the operations. Today, most of the companies, if you take any example, with your wish, you take any products, you think about any product, any goods, you will find many brands or companies therein who are trying to give the best material. They are costing a price for it and they are trying to give the best. So if you are a player in that market, how can you be ahead of them? Operations is the thing. Now, with operations comes finance and accountings as well. Now, giving the best quality. Almost everyone is trying to give their customers the best. Why I'll tell you is today people are much aware, right? Everyone has the power of internet, you can say. Everyone has the power of knowledge available today. No one is void or no one is no one has any barrier to exposure of knowledge. They are more, much aware today, so every company wants to give the best to their people. Now, in the race of doing great in operations, we will not be forgetting the basics of monetary things. Thus, finance and accounting becomes very important. Knowing your people, your internal, external people, planning your finance is also important. Say, suppose you were targeting the mid sector of the economy, the medium sector of the economy. But of course, with operations, you're planning to do great, you're trying to make great products because you want to deliver the best to your people, right? Now, in that, while you're trying to deliver the best to your people, you somewhere exceeded the production cost that you had thought of. Now, what will happen? You have to sell the product at a greater price. Now, when you have to sell the product for a greater price and you were serving the mid sector of the economy, will it be able to serve its target market? There will be a problem in it. Now, with operation, another basic function to be considered is also finance and accounting. The budgets, plan financial requirements, economic analysis of investment proposals. How is the economy doing? What can we source from where? Every context of the monetary things are also to be considered, and provision of funds. Where is it going to come from? How are we going to spend it? Where are we going to recover it from? Everything comes to finance and accounting. right? Now moving to the next, which is again closely related. You do best with your operations. You do it very nicely in the budget. Now people do not know about your product. How and what happens? You did a great job, you did great with operations. You sold your you made your product right in the budget. You made a very economic, you kept a very economic price with your product or service. Your operations is also top notch, but people don't know about your product. How will they buy it? Again, now with operations and finance comes the necessity of the third or the basic, which is market. It is not just selling, but selling with promotion, understanding customer wants and needs, communicating to those needs to operations as well. When I say this, you may ask me the question, ma'am, this is introduction to operations management. Why did we also consider the other two of the organization, the finance and the marketing part? Now, as you guys didn't ask, I am putting you the question. See, operations, we are studying about operations management. Why did I talk about the other two basics, finance and marketing as well? Anyone? We came in the forward direction from operations to why finance and why marketing for the organization. Now let's go a little back. How marketing and hello, am I audible, people?
Yes, you're edible.
Yes, my call probably just dropped. You can say, or something went wrong. Yes. What were we talking about? I
We are,
explained you
yeah,
operations, finance, and marketing in a straight way, how they are basic to the organization, right? Are we there together, everyone?
yes, we are together.
Now, what I asked is, you have understood that why these three are related or important in a business. Now, my question is, in explaining you introduction to operations management, why did I come to finance and marketing as well? What was the need to talk about finance and marketing as well? Any one of you, you have any answer to it?
Let me give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, looking at every business, I mean, whenever we initiate a product, initiate a product, definitely
Mm,
we can't just, I mean, come up with a product, waste our resources with branding, nice branding, and just let it be if there is no market. So once we produce a product, right, we need to look
mm.
for the market. Since we need to look for the
Yes,
market,
absolutely, absolutely correct.
that's why now marketing is coming in place. Now, after we market, definitely we need to have some profits. Some profits
Mm.
now that's where now finance and accounting falls in. Make sure that we know how much we spend, the cost of production. That's where now finance and accounting is, I mean, trickling in, I guess.
One aspect, I'll put it same thing. I'll put it in some other better ways. Tell me if you understand or not. It is absolutely correct. See, when I say operations, finance, and our marketing are the three basics to a business. I'm saying you this. This is what I was talking about. Now, in operations also, people, operations is hugely or largely influenced by finance and marketing. Operations does not go alone. It works with marketing and finance together. How? I will tell you. When we talk about marketing, see here, we are assessing customer wants and needs as well, right? Say suppose, let's take an example that will be easy. Say suppose I am producing bags. I'm just taking a random example. I am, say suppose, producing handbags, right? Now, I have to keep in mind what kind of handbags would be really good to sell to my target audience. What would they prefer? What kind of packaging? Or forget about packaging. Let's come to utility. What kind of chain or what kind of compartments would they prefer? What kind of buttons? What kind of look and everything. Now, when I take this from marketing, customer wants and needs, this will come to my operations process as well. The customer's needs, wants in a product like bag or the demands will be reflected in the operations process. My operations will be on sync to the customer's want and need. They want big compartments, they want small compartments, they want locks, they want button locks, they want buckles, whatever. That should be reflected in operations. Or for example, if we talk about the food industry, then if I'm producing food, say suppose I'm producing any kind of food. Now the taste and the preference of my people, what taste do they prefer? What part of the globe am I selling in? What kind of taste do they really like? My food should be in sync to their taste. So my operations will go back, and my operations should be in line to that. Yes or no, people? Do you agree to it or not? If not, you can tell me if you have any thoughts on that.
Well, I agree.
Otherwise, right? Marketing related to operations. Let's come to finance. Now, what he told was absolutely correct. The cost part. I can take every wants and needs of the customer in mind, but that comes with a cost. I am here to make profit as well. If I have come up with organization, profit is basic to any business. I need not tell that separately, right? So when it is, I have to keep it in check over and over again and again. Otherwise, it will be a blunder to the entire process. So again, keeping the plans in mind, keeping the finances in mind, will have to keep a check on the operations as well, right? That is how, being a core marketing, finance, operations, they are all closely related and influential to operations as well. So when understanding operations, we need to understand the other two as well, because they influence operations. Okay, coming up, operation interfaces. Now, operations is not just about production, right? Operations is not just just in the productions. Yes, the basic is production, but it interacts with all these. How? We'll talk about that. See, when we generally say operations management, we generally take into consideration the production part. We most of the time ignore its interfaces with the other functions as well. Now, here we will understand how operations is not just production, how it interfaces with all the others as well. Now, we just talked about accounting or finance, you can already say. Now, coming to, let's start with purchasing. That's the basic, or that is where we can, you can say, start with. See, when we talk about the operations process or a production process, it starts with purchasing of raw materials. So in production, operation also interfaces the purchasing part. How you decide on your suppliers, how you decide on your vendors, what quality assessment you keep, how cost bargaining you do, what efforts you put in there is also typically important, right? Purchasing. Then in purchasing, as I take into consideration the suppliers, the vendors, and everything, we have to maintain relations with them as well, with our suppliers, raw material suppliers, vendors, and everyone. They are the external publics of the organization, you can say. So there comes the role of public relations as well, right? Not just this, public relations in operations can be a huge part. That is how you portray your quality efficiency to your customers as well. Your customers are also one of a very vital public to your organization. So how you do that is also a lot how you maintain relationship with them. Again, if we talk about distribution, the distribution channels, you have produced goods, that is fine. How you distribute, what kind of channeling are you using, retailing, wholesaling, or what kind of storage or what quality of storage are you doing it? Everything comes in operations. Again, basic of the production process, industrial engineering, how you're producing it. Now, again, for every sector that will be different. If you are producing food, it's different. If you're producing iron and steel related goods, that is different. If you're producing manufacturing shoes, the engineering is different. For sectors and products and services, the context will keep changing, but the functions or the interfaces will remain. Maintenance, of course. So distribution, if we start with purchasing or if we start with accounting, keeping everything in budget, accounting, purchasing, distribution, engineering, maintenance, public relation, and personal, people who are doing it, everyone inclusive, will remain to be the interfaces of operations. Now, the context will, of course, keep changing from the kind of organization one to the other, right?
Good afternoon. We can't hear you because your audio is muted, so we can't hear anything.
Guys, you have to tell me that then. And I request everyone, see, we are all mature people here. Please do not do this. This disturbs the flow of the class. Okay, may I know till what point did you all hear me so that I can take over from there?
Hello, I think you can go back on the optimizing system, the previous, the previous.
I'll just talk about the thing. Did you hear this PPT, operation interfaces? How operations includes all of this?
Yes, that one is very good.
And that is why we are calling it as a holistic approach, people. Or should I repeat this once again?
Yeah, you can go on.
See,
So yeah, it went muted. Like.
okay, I'll just quickly repeat it. See, people, I'm repeating it because for someone, I don't want everyone to suffer, but you have to understand, people, we are all mature people here. If you don't want to listen, you can do that. It's your own will. But people who are interested in listening, I would say, please let them do. Now, uh, coming to this, when we say it is a holistic approach. Now, from the last slide, you see how operations has the power to interfere in all, or how it takes everything into consideration. That is why we say it relates to all these systems, right? It is more of a holistic approach and not a single one. It relates to all in the organization. A small example has been given here. Suppose you want to add a new feature to your product. Now, a small thing that you're adding any feature to a product, right? Now, for that to happen, see how many things you have to take into consideration. Let's take an example. Say, suppose you are producing electronic goods, or you were producing any electronic goods like that. Now, to one of your goods, you want to add a new feature. Now, for this, you have to take into consideration how customers will view the change, how they should use the new feature, instructions for using the new feature, the cost of using the new, or cost of imbibing the new feature, how much cost, what change in the product price. Now, the people who are producing it, what kind of trainings must be given to the workers, what should be the production schedule like. It will also change because you're adding a new feature and everything. Maybe goods and all, machineries and all are also changing. The quality standard will change. Now, for it to sell, you have to advertise, you have to be informing your people about the new feature. So one thing, addition of new feature to a product changes the entire operations, right? You see that? That is why we say this is a system-based approach, or operation management is a system or a holistic approach. One change in any part of the entire process of the organization has to change the entire operation management. This is a very holistic approach. Now, coming on to this with in link to what I just said. Now, see here what they say is the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. What does that mean? People, to explain this, have you heard about the concept of synergy? Anyone, you have heard about the concept of synergy? No? People, you haven't heard about the concept of synergy, anyone? Right, I will talk about it. We know about energy. Do you all know about energy? Now, what we say in synergy is, say, suppose, let's not go into numbers. First, let's generally talk about it. Then we can probably understand it better. See, when we talk about energy, what we say is, if you give two people a similar kind of work to do, right? If they do it separately, of course, they will put in their energy and do it, right? Now, when you put these two people who are really enthusiastic about doing that particular work, if you put them together, now two energies or two vibes coming in together will give greater production. We believe that it creates something together called synergy. They are in sync with one another, their goals match, they are really interested in the work, their energies come together, and what they could have done separately alone, when they are together, they give greater efficiency. That is what we are calling it as synergy, or we generally call it as synergy. In language of numbers, 2 plus 2 is 4. That is basic. When I say synergy, we believe 2 plus 2 can be 5, 6, 7, or anything more than that, but not just 4. That is what synergy in languages meant. Now, that is same with operations. When we say, if we look into all small parts of an organization individually, it will give results. You individually work upon each of the and want to improve it, want to have great results from it. You're putting in pressure, you're trying to do it good. That's fine. It will give great results or good results. No contention on that. But if we come up with this holistic approach, systems approach, or in general operations management, where we take every part in consideration, create a link and a sync between it, and have an overall view of it, the results will not just be great, it is going to be something more than the individual ones. You add up all of them, it will not give results. You take a holistic approach, it will give you fantastic or excellent results. That is why we believe in the concept of probably operations management. That is how we take into consideration operations management, or we say operations management should be a holistic approach, so that everything in and within can be considered, giving better efficiency, better quality, better growth to any organization. Now, coming to value addition part, that is what systems approach is doing. That is how the value of this sum is going to be more than the individual ones. How do we do that? Is in language of mathematics or in calculation based, we can see the difference between cost of inputs and price of outputs. That is where you can say the value addition happens, right? I'll break it down in easy example form for all of you. Say suppose, let's talk about I produce, again we'll take that burger example, right? Say suppose I am organization which produce burgers, right? There are many organizations who are producing burgers. Let us suppose the price of burgers in the market is X bucks. X. Generally, all standard organizations selling burgers sell it for X bucks. What I do is I come in the market, I'm also selling burger. I am selling burgers for X plus 2 bucks. Now, the market price is X. When I want to sell it for X plus 2, this plus 2 should have something or some value addition to it. Otherwise, people will not be interested in buying my product. Yes or no? Because they are getting it in the market for X. I'm charging X plus 2. So this plus 2 should be something more addition, value addition to it. Now, here as we say, cost of inputs and the price of the outputs. How? See, cost of inputs to the burger is mostly same for the all companies doing it. It could be little up, down like that, but it's mostly same. A mechanism or a breakdown of a burger is very simple. You all have eaten it, I suppose. So the cost of input does not vary. So that plus 2 is the price of the outputs, there should be something value added to it. It could be in terms of the you can always do it in terms of addition of any input as well, or creation of a brand value, you can say. The way you serve it, the environment you provide, anything and everything you do can be a value addition to it. But that will make the price of the outputs more, thus increasing, the value of the product, right? So can we include value addition in profit? We can, depending upon how we are doing it, how supposedly we are adding the value through better operations. That will also talk about our profit margins again. This entire value addition is the basic to operations management. I told in the very beginning, today the world is uh, entirely competitive, right? You want to be better than the other. What you have to do is you have to add some value to it. Your operations management has to be top notch. That is how you can be better than your competitors. Now that was in short the introduction to the importance of operations management. Why do we need to talk or understand or know operations management? That was it. To have a holistic view in understanding the basics of organization, to win over your competitors, to add value to the products or the service you're basically selling, is where you should be aware of operations management in general, right? People, you want to ask, say anything, you can ask at this point. Anyone, you have any questions, you can ask at this point. That was the basic introduction. Oh, people, again, I say, if you want to ask anything, you all can ask. Otherwise, we will take a short break, and then in 2-3 minutes, we'll move on to the next topic, which is new product development. Are you aware, all of you, that we are going to do 2 topics today? First was introduction to operations management. We just finished introduction. Now, I hope you have an idea about why are we talking about operations management. People?
Yes, very clear. The introduction has been very interesting.
So we'll take 5 minutes and we will quickly join back, and we'll start with the second topic for the day. That is, we'll talk about new product development. It's 7:30 now. We'll get back at in 5 minutes. Oh, we are at different places. Our time frames are different. Okay, whatever is the time, wherever, we will get back in 5 minutes and start with the new topic of product development. Okay. Till the time, you can think about questions if you want to ask anything. And we'll get back and take over from there. Okay, I hope all of you are back. We have taken a short break. Do you have everyone here in the class, people?
Yes, you're listening.
Okay. Now we will move on to our next topic. I'll just quickly share this slide. I hope everyone is back after it was 1 hour, so we took a small 5 minutes break. We will start with our next topic, which is developing new product or new product development. Now, again, relating it to operations, hope you largely understand product development is a part of operations in itself. When you are developing a product or you can say a service, you require to be in sync with operations many a times. Or in largely 80%, we have to talk about operations like that. But to begin with, how will we take it? See, why will we or why do we develop new product? Anyone?
Can I try?
Mm-hmm.
We develop new products for us to attract more market.
Yes, that can be. Or can I say in today's competitive market, the ability to offer products that meet new growing customer needs and expectation Am I audible to you people now? There was some issues with the internet. Uh, is
Yes,
it audible now to you?
yes, please.
We can hear now.
Yes. We were just starting with the concept and see how we develop new products. We started with the issue. No problem. But we will still come back to it. Yes. Now, yes, I was telling, or I was just talking about how new product development has become more important in these days, and in today's competitive market, how it is evident that we have to keep up with the competition, delivering new products all the while. Would you all agree to that? Like meeting up the continuous change in customers' demand is very important. Yes.
Yes, very, very important.
That is the basic of your business, you can say. Now when I say meeting up with customers' needs and requirements, right, here comes the idea of identifying opportunities. You have to identify what kind of opportunities you have in product development. See, why we talk about this, just a little back to it. Developing anything and everything will of course not help you in the market, will it? Will it help you? You develop any and every product you want. Will it help in any case? People, what do you feel? Anyone? That for the sake of development, you develop any or every product.
Yes, it's very helpful because for you to fuse in a competitive environment, definitely you need to maintain the scope of your product. If you see the
New
product
product development is of course essential, helpful. Now what I'm asking is little deeper to that. Yes, new product development of course very helpful, but just for the sake of developing a new product, can you develop anything and everything just for the sake of development?
yes, you can.
I would differ here a little bit, because
I don't
what
agree.
I want to say you is, see, before developing a new product, if you want to do good in the market, if you really want to take the advantage of developing a new product, what you have to do is identify the opportunities related to the product. How my product will do well in the market. Will it at all do well or not? That is important to identify. Now, once you have identified the opportunities, then you can probably go ahead and do. See, not everything and anything that comes to the market does good. There are many products that come, there are many startup organizations that come and they fail. The trick lies here in identifying opportunity in the market. You understand? What you say is correct, that developing new product to beat up competition is required, but not anything and everything. What you are developing should have a base, that you have to identify the opportunity, how that will go well. Now, what I'm saying is, I'll tell in a little more elaborate manner. See, there are countries with different taste, preferences, and economies. Right? There are countries that have their own culture, their own socio-economic conditions. Right? If we talk about development of a electronic product or a technology-based product, right? Now, you understand that developing the new kind of gadget, it's going to do good in the market. People anyway will do good or like it. So you develop. Now, it's not just about developing a product for the sake. What I want to say here is you have to understand what kind of requirements are there in the product. So what will also be the cost outcome of the product? Will the economic abilities of the market be able to absorb it or not? Say suppose I want to sell a product in a lower economic country and I keep a very high price for it, because that is how my product is, operations have been, the cost is high. Now what do I do? Will it do good?
No, it won't perform.
So the gap here was in identifying the opportunity. Again, it is not only in terms of economies or cost. I give you the example of economy or cost. Many a times it is also cost is one thing. There are something called taste, preferences, culture of people. If the product is not in sync with the taste, culture, preference of the people, that will also not go in the market. So whenever you are developing, I'll slowly come to internal, external opportunities. We'll talk about all this in details. The first idea that I want to tell is, whenever in operations, we are developing a new product, identifying opportunity, that will my product overall go well in the market or not, becomes very important. This includes internal, external sources. Let's go deep and see. First one, let's talk about internal sources of identifying opportunities, right? Who can come up with new ideas? Who, if I talk about, let me first tell you about what I'm saying as internal, what I'm telling as external, then it will be better in understanding. Internal opportunities is that talks about opportunities coming from within the organization. Okay, internal opportunities is opportunities coming from within the organization. Say suppose we all are an organization, right? We are producing something. The idea of new product development or the opportunity we have identified from within, and external is from the market, maybe from the customers, from the competitors, from anywhere else outside the organization, right? Now, internal sources of identifying opportunities. Now, the first thing is, when people are working within the business, they may come up with what we say as extension. Say suppose I was the engineer in building the product. Now I came up with a new feature addition to the product as well. Right? Now we have to do market research, everything, understand it goes well or not. First and foremost, internal sources. This is the one who are continuously working with the products. They can always come up with ideas to develop newer products, or do developments with that, right? It may come from employee suggestions or meetings with the sales force, like that, your extended organizational members. Now if I talk about the uh, cloth industry, or people which are, or any kind of products that are sold through shops, retail channels, right? People who are there, the sales force who are present in the retail channels, they meet with the customers daily. They are the one who are selling it. They understand the customer needs. They interact with the customers every day, now and then, right? So they may come up with new suggestions that people are wanting this. We can build this. Again, what products we already have in our organizations, if we take feedbacks, complaints about those products, that may help us in building new improved product. Research and development, that's a very basic and a continuous part that every organization is doing. Every other product based organizations in electrical, electronics, gadgets and everything, they are continuously into research and development. Every time they're coming up with new modified products, better products, developed products, new product they're coming up. So teachers, research and development is one. The other is market churning. Now this is very interesting. Listen to it carefully. This is not launching, product fully into the market. This is, you can say, a trial one. Say suppose I come up with the idea of a new product. Now I'm not sure that it will do good or not. Let's take an example for better understanding. Say suppose I am a biscuit making organization. I come up with the idea of new kind of biscuits. Say suppose 3-4 new flavors of biscuit. Now I'm not sure that if that will sell or not. Right? If that product or these 3-4 products of biscuits, flavors of biscuits will sell or not. Now what I do not immediately start a full-fledged production of the biscuits. What I do is I start a small batch. I introduce it in the market, a very small batch, a trial batch, you can say. I see how it is doing it in the market. I get review or feedback that one of it is not doing good, two are doing, one is medium, and that. Based on that, I take a decision which new product should I further develop. From these four, I just churned the market. I tried some of the new products or one or two of it. I got the idea this is doing well. Then I develop on it. This requires a certain amount of cost, but it helps to, what do I say? Prove yourself from losses coming up later. You do it in small batches so you understand the reactions, and then supposedly you can build in from there. Again, of course, brainstorming is a very basic idea to build upon opportunities. People within the organization generally come together, brainstorm, and try and come up with different possible opportunities of what can be developed, what cannot be, what can do good in the market, what cannot, what things can be like. So the first one in new product development is identifying opportunities internally. Moving on, external sources. First and foremost, the customers, my customers who are using my products, how they are doing it. Do you believe that customer suggestions can help in product development or improvement?
Yes, I believe that myself.
Right? How, anyone, can you give any example of any idea? Any idea how customer can be a part of? Acha, before going to the external one, I'll quickly give you a real life example from the internal one. Then we'll come to the, I thought of giving you, then by chance I forgot. Now you see here that the new ideas, the second one, the new ideas may come up from employee suggestions or meetings with the sales force. There is a real life example here in that we can talk about. A true in the example from the industry. Now, see, the story dates back to a very old time, you can say 30 years from now. It is about an airline, right? It is a story about an airline. What happened in those days? It was just a starting 30-40 years from now, so you can understand. So we are talking about 1980s, supposedly. So it was just a starting phase for aviation and everything. Not starting phase, but it was just you can say baby phase, rather, like that. So what this airline company used to do is they used to give burgers, or they used to provide burgers as food for every passengers who flew with them in the flight. Okay. Sorry. This airlines company used to do that. Now, what happened? We know the basic of a burger, that it has that patty and the leaf, right? These burgers had two leafy components. Apart from the patty, there were two leafy components. It's fine. You're serving a burger to your passengers and everything. Things were going well. Now, these steward boys or the cleaners who used to clean the leftovers and everything. They they particularly noticed, or one in particular noticed, that most of the passengers, what they did, they used to open up the burger, take one leafy component, throw it, and enjoy the burger with just one leafy component. You understand what I'm saying? Now, uh, the boy who cleaned and all, he always thought, why does my company then give the second one? Most of the passengers, they throw it, then what is the use of it? Now, generally, those leafy components are quite costly ones and not the simpler ones. He didn't knew about what expense it was bearing, but he always thought in this way, that if people do not like this component at all, why is my company spending on it? But he never had that opportunity to interact and talk about it and anything. But once the company, some way he had interaction with the company senior or whatever happened, he got an opportunity where he put his this idea that, why, if you are giving the burger, that's fine, but give it with one leafy component. There is no need of two, because most of the people throw it. They enjoy only with one. Now the company did a research and really find out that it is true. So they modified, or you can say they developed their product offering, they developed their service offering rather, and they redesigned the burger with just one leafy component, particularly to that airlines. And then they gave it to people, most of them enjoyed. And these saved a huge bucks for the company itself. Now you see how an internal source or internal identification of opportunity in developing a new product, it's not rather that way a product, it is a accomplishment. But I just wanted to give you the idea how from employee suggestions also you can come up with great addition or value addition in general. You understand, people?
Yes.
Right? I forgot about the example and moved on to the external. Now that was an internal example. Now coming to there are many, that was one interesting, so I talked about it. Now coming to external sources. Now see, today is the era of feedback. Yes, you go anywhere and everywhere, you will be asked for suggestions or feedbacks. You order a pizza today, they will call you and ask for your feedback or your suggestion or your ratings. You go anywhere, not just, we are talking a lot of food examples. Okay, we'll not talk about any more food examples. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about healthcare service. Even if you go to any healthcare provider today, you'll ask for feedback. How did you like the service? Or if you go to any other hospitality like spas and all, you will be asked for feedback. Or rather you buy anything from the Amazon or something, they come with this kind of I lately saw cards and all, please rate us um, on the website and get this cashback, ratings, feedbacks. It's everywhere. I hope everyone in the class have seen or given feedback, suggestions, ratings at any point. I'm sure you all have you?
Yes, we've had.
Right, that is what the world is about today. So that is the very first external source for identifying opportunities, that if you really want to take up on, take those. What kind of feedbacks are they talking about? What kind of suggestions are they giving? They are your customer, your product is designed for them. So take the full feedback from there. Very basic one. Your purpose will be served. Right? Now, a large number of ideas on products come from abroad. Abroad, in the sense, people who see, we were talking about cultural aspects, people's taste, preferences, and everything. So, when people travel abroad, they are exposed to larger cultures and products and services, everything. Right? That which are not available in their country. Now, with this, with the exposure and everything, that also brings opportunity for those countries to develop those products. Now, if you talk about, again, I'm using the food industry examples because that may be identified. Today, if you see the world, you go to any place around the globe, you will find mostly multi-cuisine kind of food culture, right? It's no longer limited that in this country only this kind of foods are available, or in this country only this is available. That is predominant, but mostly today everywhere every kind of food is available. That is how people identified opportunities. Okay, in this country that kind of food is not, so let's me come up with this, people may like it. Based on likings, it kept growing. Not just food, ideas of products also come like that. When people have broader exposure, they come across newer products in different economies or different cultures, to be more that way. They also come back or try to build their cultures there. It can be either way. You go to a new country, you see new products there, you come back to the host country and build that product. Or you go to a new country and you see your products not being available there, you build those products there. Both way. Externally, you identify the potential market for products and you start selling it there. And these days, this works well because the world has become a global village. There is no limitation of any geographic boundary for everyone. Any country you see, you'll see people from all across the globe settle there, working with organizations, having their own businesses being set up there. We are not geographically restricted anymore. That has also broadened the opportunity to make, build, and sell newer products anywhere, everywhere these days. Again, the third one is, this was the first two. The third one, you see, uh, I don't know how many of you have noticed this or not. Um, if you see with the mobile phone industry, we all use mobile phones. Now, whatever one company comes up as a feature, say suppose company X has come up with some new features in their mobiles. All other companies, A, B, C, D, Y, Z, everyone will immediately copy X in 1 week, 1 month, or in some time. They will definitely copy that feature, and every other mobile phone brands in the market will have it. Have you seen this fierce competition? Or do you see this? That is how it is. Or let me put it with brand names. Every year, Apple comes up with new features from research and development. Apple is too top with research and development. Every year, with research and development, they come up with new product or product development features like that. Now, when they come up, you'll immediately see all other brands in some time over the months or over year copying it anyway, or copying, if you don't want to say it that way, or imbibing that new feature in their products or developing it that way. Yes or no, people?
Yes, it's true.
Right? So that is also external source for identifying opportunities. You keep an eye on your competitors and see what they are doing just to be in the market. You develop your products to their levels again. If you're not at all doing anything, if you're not good with internal opportunities, if your company is not doing great with research or anything, keep an eye over your competitors. At least be at par with them. That is also a kind of developing new products. Now here I'll tell another kind of aspect as well. Today this is not just important, you cannot skip this part. All others you're doing is fine. Internally you're identifying, you are taking suggestions, you are moving to here and there, ideas bringing, doing, that is fine. That will give you edge over your competitors if you do so. But this third one in particular, if you do not keep up with your competitors, you will be left behind in the market. The third one in external source is vitally very important. Do nothing else, but you have to do this just to keep up with the competition. Anyone wants to give any example relating to mobile phones? Any brand's example you remember here? A brand which did not keep up to the Android coming to all its competitors is now nowhere in the market.
Nokia.
Yes, absolutely correct. Yes or no, people? See, you may not choose to take suggestions, you may not identify internally come up, but in today's happening world, if you do not keep up with your competitors, you will be left nowhere. See, Nokia is the biggest. We just talked about mobile phones. Nokia is the biggest example to it. They didn't take Android coming up to all brands as an important one. And today they were nowhere in the market. So what I want to say here is, yes, if you want to have an edge over the market, if you want to be the market leader, you can take all of the opportunities like that. If you just want to be there in the market, third one you have to do. Otherwise, you will not be in the market only. Fourth, also important, being conscious of what changes in fashion, in taste, in preference are coming up. That is how you keep up, or if you keep this, you will have an edge over the market. With change in fashions, with change in everything. Today, if I say is the era of pastel colors, people are dying over pastel colors. See, Apple has come up with phones in pastel shades. It has understood the latest fashion that people today are behind, obsessed with pastel colors. That is what the taste and fashion is currently. It may change. You have to change eventually, but to keep up, to be the market leader, you have to continuously keep all this in mind. And last, companies also try to adapt their existing products and see if the consumers like it or not. That you can always do. Whatever product you have, existing products, sometimes what we do is, or you might have seen it in the market, same product coming up in a new packaging. That also attracts customer. You are not entirely developing the product, but a part of the product, that is packaging. Many a times, go back and see, it happens with food or FMCG, packaged food things, or biscuits in general. The quality, quantity, taste of the biscuit is more or less the same. What they have done is, to keep up with the new generation and everything, they have come up with the new packaging. That is also a profound way of doing it. If you want to keep up in the market, old age packaging styles will probably not do. You have to keep changing. Now again, another thing, these days vintage look is also very in fashion, right? Everything coming up in tubes and all. In earlier it used to come in tin boxes. So you take that old fashion again and make it a new one. You attract the customers with that. That also works. Now again, telling all of it, what will actually work for your organization, for your product, for your target market, you have to find it. You have to see your competitors, you have to see the market, what is happening, what is not. Eventually, you will have to build upon it. Right? That is how internally, externally, you first identify the opportunity, then probably we can go in building new products. Right? Coming here. What are new products? How can new products be like? Which company example should we take? Everyone knows about Apple. If I explain this slide with a particular company example, I believe that will be easier. If we talk about product line, addition to product line, it will be easier with the brand name. So Apple, I hope, is acceptable to all of you. You all know the brand Apple?
I think it is. Everyone knows that unless otherwise.
Because that's a universal one. People, now what is a product line? Now, when I say about product line in Apple, if I say a product line, what is typically a product line? Product line are the similar kind of products manufactured by the organization, right? So if I want to say product line of Apple company, what is the product line of Apple company? The product line of Apple company can include iPhone 15, iPhone 14, 13, all this, MacBook Air, MacBook, iMac, Mac Mini, Mac Studio, Mac Pro, all these are the product line. The different kind of product offerings they have makes the entire product line of Apple, right? Apple is a brand. Its product line is basically made of the iPhones, the AirPods, the Apple Watch series, the iPads, the iMacs, everything. The products or the products I just named makes the product line of Apple, right? So when you are coming up with a new product, you can always do one thing. You can do a addition to that product line. Of all the products you have in the line, you can add addition to product line. The second one, this is not the first one. The second one is the simpler one. I'll come to the first one. This is the second point, addition to product line. What you are already producing, iPhone, MacBooks, Apple Watch series, AirPods, HomePods, these are all one product to the product line. You add another similar kind of a product to the product line. This is one kind of product development. Now, what is new product line development? What is new product line? Now see, new product line of Apple would be when Apple comes up with something that they do not have. Something in the sense, Apple is all about this kind of gadgets, right? If they come up with something else than this, if say suppose Apple comes up with t-shirts, caps, things like that, that would be a separate product line. You understand? iPhone, Mac, iPad, these are all similar kind of gadget based products. Yes or no? So they belong to a same product line. You add any gadget to it, you are adding to a product line, right? Now you can also do it. Okay, what you already have is there. You are a great brand. You can think of coming up with a new product line which is different in what you are already offering. So you were offering gadgets. Now you come up with a new product line of clothes, caps, and everything. You understand the different new product line and addition to a product line? Is it clear to all of you?
Clear from my end.
People, if you have any issues, you can say, I'll again repeat it. Okay, I'll quickly do that. Apple is an organization that is producing gadgets. So that is there one of the product lines. You come up as Apple, you come up with another gadget, you are adding to the product line. Your new product development, it's to the addition to the product line. Now, what you suppose is, okay, I am already producing gadget. This is doing well. It's fine. I'll produce something else as well other than gadgets. So you come up with t-shirts, caps. Your product line is there. You come up with a new product line. Different. So two ways. Now, repositing to new market segments. Now say suppose, now it does not hold true for Apple today anymore because Apple is globally present everywhere today. Say suppose when Apple initially started, it started from country. It started from a country. Slowly, it reposited to newer market segments or new countries. So You are developing new products for new countries. You were already there in country B, so you come to country A now. Or you were there in country A, now you come to country B, country C, country D. New products for country B, C, D. Not in country A. Country A, it's already there. But in country B, C, D, what you are doing? New products. Yes or no? That is repositing to new market segments. Correct? That is also new product development. You were there in a geographically restricted one. So there it was your product. But when you cross that, you're coming to new market segments. That becomes a new product. People, understandable? Now, this was new geographic market segments. New market segments can be in many ways. Now, if I say about economic, say suppose you are an organization that were producing some luxury goods that is not meant for everyone. Now, what you do, you develop similar kind of goods, but at some lower cost or in lower versions for a different economic market segment, from luxury to middle class. Newer market segment, new product. That can be geographic, that can be, again, it can be age-wise, demographic as well. Say, suppose you were doing something for adults. Now you're producing something for kids as well. If I don't know what, if you see watches or this kind of products, they have come up with new kids line these days. Product in newer markets. Again, gender based as well. Say suppose you are a organization producing male perfumes. You come up with female perfumes. New market segment demographically. Correct? Or understandable? Next one. Whatever you have, one way is what we were all talking about is improvements, revisions. Nothing else. Whatever you feel is not doing good, you keep improving on that. That is also new products. New or improvements, you're changing your products. Or cost reductions. Again, now this is a little tricky one. It can be in many ways, many parlances. See, cost reductions, you cannot always abruptly do that, compromising on the quality. Can you? Why you can't, why I say this is also because, see, you have a brand name to maintain as well. Yes or no? If you are an organization today, you are giving something for a cost. Can you abruptly come up with a very low cost product just like that? What it means is you also might have to compromise a lot in terms of the quality as well. That's not possible. Yes, you can try to build efficiency in terms of your organization, probably so that you can give it at a lower cost. Operations management, you can do that, cost reductions. Or you can come up with another profound way is, see, suppose you are only serving large quantities of it. Say, suppose you are a soft drink producing company and you only come up with 1 liter, 5 liter bottles, 1 liter and above bottles. So you have to ask for a price to that. And not everyone is comfortable. I'm extremely sorry. And not everyone is comfortable in paying that price. Right? Now what will you do? What you can do is, but you believe this product goes well with the culture and preferences of the mid economic class as well. You can come up with 100 ml, 200 ml, 500 ml bottles. That can reduce the cost. So if that goes to their taste and preferences, they can use it as well. That is also a way of cost reductions in newer kind of products. Shampoos coming up in bottles, in sachets as well. See, if you see advertisements closely, you'll see there are products that when they launch sachets or small versions of it, they advertise, they take it as new products because they know many in the market was not able to take the bigger versions due to price and all. Now, when they have come up in small parts, the product may be the same, but the version of it is a newer one. That can attract a lot of people. New products, understandable, people. In how many ways can you come up with new products? Now, if you have questions to ask people, all of you are free to ask questions. Now, let's go to the process of new product development. Let's quickly go to the process of new product development. How from a idea, you can say, we build a particular commodity. From an idea to commodity, we call this the process of new product development. There are certain steps. We will okay, we have 8 minutes, or we will finish that. Even if it takes us 5 more minutes, we had a 5 minutes break, we will take 5-6 minutes, we will finish the process of new product development. Okay, people, till this point, are things understandable before moving on to the process of new product development?
Yes, understandable. Tutor.
Great. Yes, the same one. Let's start. Let's stick to this. That's a only pictorial representation. Now see, these are the stages, you can say, of new product development. New product development, many a times you will see this being addressed as NPD. Don't get confused otherwise. That's new product development. We have shortened it as new NPD many times. It is, you can say, a set of design, engineering, and research process which combine to create and launch a new product to market. Right? When it comes to a new product development, each journey to finished product is different for each organization, depending upon how big, how small, what kind of products are they producing. The steps may be this, but the journey is totally different. Okay, although this, as I say, the product development process can vary from company to company, we can break it down into these main stages. The first one being the idea generation. What does idea generation means, or what is idea generation? Idea generation basically involves the brainstorming for new products. If you remember the kind of new products, you have to brainstorm and find out which one to do. New product line, addition to product line, a new market segment, improvement, cost reduction, what? What is the way? Right? Or way to improve an existing product, what is it? During product discovery, or deciding upon what should it be like, companies basically examine market trends, conduct product research, you can say, and they deep dig into users' wants, needs, to identify the problems and then come up with what it should be like. There is also framework like SWOT analysis. You have heard about it? It is a framework for evaluating the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, threats for the organization. Where strength, weakness are internal and opportunities, threats are external to the organization. Based on it, you identify what can be, it can be a very effective way to identify problematic areas of the product of your organization, and understand the place where probably the opportunity lies, right? Then you decide uh, on the new idea. Internal ideas can come up different areas within the company, such as marketing, customer support, sales team, technical department, and everything. External can come out from sources outside, like your competitors, feedback, your target audience, and everything. Some ideas or methods that are used in idea generation maybe is conducting market analysis. You do a analysis on the market, understand this. working or working with product marketing and sales to check if the product's value is being positioned correctly, collecting feedback with interviews, focus groups, surveys, and today is the era of data analytics. From there, you find out what can be the one. Ultimately, the goal of the idea generation is to come up with as many ideas as possible while focusing on delivering the best value to your customers. Here, what we do, what happens is when you are doing all of it, a lot of ideas generally come. Now, what next is idea screening. When you have done this, we have come up with a lot of ideas you can see. Now, the second step of NPD or new product development is about screening all the ideas that you have generated in idea generation, right? The success lies in screening right way and coming up with the best one. Deciding which idea to pursue and discard the rest depends on many factors. It can be expected benefits to your customers, product improvement most needed, technical feasibility, marketing potential, the socio-economic condition of your market segment, everything. The idea screening stage is the best carried out within the company. Expert from different teams can help on checking the aspects of technical requirements, resource needed, marketability, everything. Then we screen for the best. Now, when we have done that, we come to next concept development and testing. Now, all ideas passing the screening stage are developed into concept, which has, of course, the idea which has passed this screening, we feel that is relevant, right? A product concept is detailed description or you can say a blueprint of the idea. Rather, it is the blueprint of the product idea. It should indicate everything like the target market for the product, the features, the benefits of the solution that may appeal to the customers, the proposed price of the product, everything. A concept should also contain the estimated cost of designing, developing, launching the product, every nitty-gritty thing that is in concept development and testing. Developing alternative product concepts will also help determine how attractive each component is to the concept of the customers and select the one that would provide the highest value. You have to think about alternative product concepts as well, how they can come up and take over the market for you at any time. You have to keep that idea also in mind in concept development. Now, once the concept has been developed, we have to test it with a selected group of consumers, small groups you can say. Concept testing is basically a great way to validate product ideas with users before investing time and resources into building it in a large way. Before going to large bases, you put your everything resource on that. You do it on a concept testing on a small way. Concepts are also often used for market validation. Before committing to developing a new product, share your concept with your prospective buyers. Collect some insights. Your prospective buyers will give you some insights and gauge how viable the product idea is for the market. Then we can go on to the next. Marketing strategy and business analysis. I'll talk about it together. Marketing strategy and business analysis. Now that we have already selected the concept, see, we have decided on everything. We have selected the concept. It's now important to put it together an initial marketing strategy to introduce the product to the market and analyze the value of the solution from a business perspective. Right. Now, talking about marketing strategy, the marketing strategy basically serves to guide the positioning, which target segment, the pricing, the promotion of the new product. Once the marketing strategy is planned, product management can evaluate the business attractiveness of the product idea, you can say that can happen. And then the business analysis, what is that? The business analysis is basically it compromises a review of the sales forecast, expected cost, the profit projections, right? If they satisfy the company's objectives, the product can move to the product development stage now. So next one, product development. The product development stage basically consists of developing the product concept into a finished marketable product. Whatever you have conceptualized, now you take it into a finished marketable product. Your product development process and stages depends on your company preferences for development, whether it is you can say agile product development, waterfall, or any viable alternative. What is it, depending upon your product, your what kind of organization you are, your product development process is very unique and individual, of course. This stage usually involves creating prototype and testing it with the users, see how they are doing, the feedback, everything. Prototype testing is also to validate design decisions and uncover if there are any flaws or anything. So you can always improve upon them. Now, when the product is done, we will do a test marketing. What is test marketing? Test marketing involves releasing this finished product or the developed product to a sample, right? To evaluate how it is doing. There are two ways of testing. One is alpha testing, one is beta testing. Alpha testing is a software testing. Basically, it is to identify bugs in the software before releasing it, whereas beta testing is an opportunity for actual users to use the product and give their feedback about it. Now, depending upon your product, you can choose for alpha testing or beta testing, right? If it is a software, we identify the bugs, or if it is a service, we provide it to people and identify the flaws. If it is a product, we actually give the product, see how it is doing, and collect. When it is done, when we are successful, then we commercialize or we launch. It's either commercialization or product launch. It's nothing but producing it is in huge scale and launching it for your target audience, advertisement it largely so that people can know about it, buy it. Here you have to talk about your customers, the value proposition, the messaging, the channels, how you're doing it, everything when you're trying to commercialize it, right? That is all about how you develop or the process of product development. This is in a pictorial form, from idea generation to commercialization. That was it for today's class. Did you people understand the idea of product generation or a new product development, people? Anyone? Anything to ask, anything to say? I hope it is understandable by all of you people.
It is from my end, Tutor.
The others, if you have any issues, you can always talk about it, people.
I think for me, it's been an interaction that has been worthwhile and very clear in terms of everything that has been presented so far.
Great, great. Now, this was just the starting class. You can go through it, people, again, read about it. If you have any problems, keep it noted, or you can write it in the group itself so that we can take over it in the next class again. Okay, we will preferably start from there in the next class. You all can have a revision over it, understand it, try doing it. Any questions, keep it. We will take over again. Okay, this is just we have done. So you may not immediately have questions, but if you come across any questions anytime, feel free to come back and discuss, all of you. Right? Have a great day, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.